And I gotta kill all these chats. Even a Rumble. Trovo I could leave. Twitch I could leave. I cannot take chances. That was a stupid. That was just stupid that I did that. Because people take screenshots. The videos have been deleted. Okay. Pop out. YouTube is good. Twitch, we gotta go back to Rumble. I cannot take chances. Are you crazy? I'll be dead. Literally dead. I can't take chances like that. No way. This is Bill's national security. This is not a joke. Alexa, dim living room light. And I got the phone call while right when I ended the stream, I got the phone call. And actually, now I got to make a call. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's just a lot going on. This, what's going on right now could potentially be as big as the fucking hearings. Potentially bigger. Oh my God! I need alcohol. And I do not say that lightly. Things are fun. Today was fun. And it happened on the same day as the hearings. It's like, what are the odds? No, this has nothing to do with those hearings either. This is something totally different, but related to UFOs. Anyway, what's up to everybody? I'm excited. When I have this kind of smile on my face, that means some shit's going on. But now, we have to see what happens in the next 24 to 48 hours. And how this is going to be rolled out to the public. Because this is... Now I feel like... Good luck, Bill. This is when I worry about talking on the phone. I'm not joking. This is when I worry about conversations on the phone. And Fantasy, you here? Are you here, Fantasy? I had to delete the streams. Because I did this with the phone stupidly. And those are my contacts. I can't have those on the screen. I can't give you a hint whatsoever. Absolutely not. This is like a fucking NDA on steroids. This could potentially be huge. Actually, I'm going to cover the SpaceX launch in a little while. But I do want to show you something that was interesting from earlier today. This is a little tease. Let's call it a little tease. From earlier today. Which was pretty fucking cool. Thanks to the host to make this happen. And it's kind of funny. Kathy, I think you'll get a kick out of this. The KGRA people, you might get a kick out of this. I don't think there's many of you in there. I know Kathy might get a kick out of this. How come I have a black screen? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you really fucking kidding me? The screen is black. So that means I gotta do it over?
And oh, so
no! No! But I got a black screen in the beginning. It's not working.
Internet back
with him is like a bad name. And just
it didn't work. It's missing pieces. I'm gonna have to redo it, but that's no big deal because I got the original. Nah, I really got to be careful. Thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God, Bill, calm down. You guys can't see the screen. Good. This is off-air commentary that cannot be seen. So look at this for a second. Thank God you see me, because I'm glad you didn't see my screen. There's been a lot of that going on today. Documents and shit you guys can't see. Little sneak peek for Friday.
Whole communities and just a joy, and I'm honored to have him here. Please welcome the wonderful Jimmy Church. How are you, my friend?
Sheena, wow.
How you doing?
We're on the KGRA.
We're on the KGRA. Great. Yeah.
Life is full circle.
It is. Right?
It's full circle. You can't.
Just when you thought you were out, we pulled you back in.
Oh my God. So, this is a little teaser for Friday. This airs Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern on KGRA. But I had to jump in.
It's really cool to come back to KGRA and hang out.
I'm so glad you're here.
We actually have 10 more minutes because we started a little bit, so you guys can go on for 10 more minutes. But
I was looking at the live clock.
Ignore that. I just want to ask Jimmy something, because first of all, you are going to be vitally important post-disclosure. You know why? Because people are going to have to deal with the social, financial, political, religious, so many different aspects from the fallout. And a person that like you, who've been in contact with so many people for so many years covering this, they're going to look to you for comfort, answers, because you know a lot what was going on. The people that are involved in the field now, people that mocked them and talked stuff about them and thought they were crazy, well, these are the people that were on the end the whole time and knew something was amiss. So you're going to have a major role when that happens. And what I wanted to ask you, because Grush referred to a lot of people that were in contact with him, getting information. Do you think that those people are going to, because they had the list of names, do you think those people are going to come forward in a future hearing?
I'm going to say this. The short answer is yes, but let me tell you why.
And that's as much as a teaser as you're going to get. That's it. Because it goes on for a few more minutes. But I had to jump in because he brought up the hearing from today. I couldn't resist. So I had to ask a couple of questions to Jimmy Church, what his thoughts were on certain things, like the classification issue. And it was an interesting conversation. No. It was a big joke that he's on a show on KGRA as a guest. Jimmy's busy doing Jimmy stuff. He's got the Gaia TV show. He's got his own thing that he's doing independently. And I can't talk anymore. I am so mean, ain't I? I just can't, because that's going to be on Friday. I can't show the good stuff. I can't show that. I'll get fired. Fired! That's a teaser. So that was very interesting, the things that Jimmy had to say on Sheena's show. And that will air Friday at 6 Eastern. Now I got to do that all over again because I don't know what happened to the file. It got corrupted when I created it. So that's more work for Bill in the morning. I ain't going to worry about it now. It's not airing till Friday anyway. No, but all's good. So the phone will not be ringing anymore. even it's too late for me to annoy somebody else. It is a hell of a teaser, isn't it? Like I said, the last few hours, a lot has happened. Okay, the news. It's amazing news in a good way. Potentially. Hey, when I have a smile like this, what's up, John? I wish. This is one it really kills me not to say. I hate to tease like that. I really freaking do. I can't get in trouble. I can't. I can get in serious trouble. Serious trouble. You know when your hands are clammy and you get that feeling like I'm getting the chills at the same time? It's like that. You will all know soon enough. Hopefully within the next 2 to 5 days. But this has nothing to do with the hearings. Notice I say that plurally. This has something to do with something else. What's up, Roz? Anyway, today's been one hell of a day. There is a lot, I don't want to say excitement. Well, there is. But I think people need to slow down, put the brakes on, and don't get overly optimistic, overly excited. Calm down. Because the people in the field have been dying. It's almost like this. Can someone ask in a White House press conference, you know, the daily briefings, questions about UFOs? This is going back in time. Why doesn't anybody ask? And if they did, they would be laughed at. The typical laugh, like, ha ha. Now it's no laugh. And a lot of people have been waiting in the ufology field, not ufology. I hate when people say that. Look up the pronunciation sometime. It's not ufology. It's not. I hate when people do it like that. But in this field, people have been dying for a hearing like today where the verbiage in the language explicitly discusses extraterrestrials, non-human, biological bodies found. I mean, this was what a lot of people in the field have been waiting for. So they're like, finally, it's taken serious in a congressional hearing setting. And they're all jumping up and down for joy tonight. And I say that to the people who have been involved in this for a long time or even recent time, and they have a real interest in the topic. So they're super excited that it's finally happening. But put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. This is one little baby step that we have to see where this goes. And that's why I asked Jimmy what he thought about the people that are on that list coming forward in the future in hearings. The ones that told Grush. That's going to be the key. We need to hear from the sources themselves. And we need the declassification of some shit that we can give the public some transparency to say, okay, this is not the Tic Tac video. This is not whatever. Something that people say, for real, holy shit. But, like I said, even in that case, a lot of people are going to say, that's a photoshopped image. That's not real. That's definite video that's been altered, not real, fake. You know that's going to happen. Even documents. If I showed you a document, how do we know this document is real? If I show it to you and tell you it is, doesn't mean it is. So a lot of people are going to say, how do we know that document is really a real document? So no matter what you do, when you start rolling stuff out, people are going to say, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, Martin Willis. I told you about the podcast. I hope you guys watched it with Martin. And the Lato Files with Chris. I hope you guys watched that. Exactly. They're all going to say fake, false news. And that's why I said false flag, something's coming. Now, let's see what happens in the next few hearings. Because there will be more. Like I said, keep an eye. September in the Senate. That is the word. That is the word. You know, when I say something, you need to remember it. Because when it happens down the line, Bill said it a month and a half ago. I try to hint. I'm just going to say it straight out, which I shouldn't have. But watch the Senate in September. That's it. Yeah, and we were joking about that, Jade. Because if they just start bringing up this biological threat that people have actually gotten ill or worse being in contact with these things, I was thinking and I said it as a joke, so is the next one going to be alien related? Referring to what you just put in chat. I'm just speculating, and I just said it as a joke, but may not necessarily be a joke. It's like, almost, remember the movie Andromeda Strain? Could that be? I'm just saying. I don't want to get off the rails, but that's it, fantasy. That's it. That's it. But the government hasn't admitted to anything. Really? Because they're holding the information from Congress. They're holding the information back because it's related to these black programs, these black projects, these special, what is it, SAPs? I forgot the abbreviation. Special access programs with black money, black project money. That's going to be, like I was saying earlier, this is, do not forget that this is going to be big for that. The oversight, the money. Where are they getting that money from? Who's backing this? Are private entities involved? Are they investing in on this? Like, where's the money? Where's the money coming from? And Jimmy Church joked, because I actually made the joke, because he brought up Independence Day. It's in the interview, and I said, "Well, Jimmy, do you think it cost $20,000 for a toilet seat that somebody put in the chat earlier today during the hearing that was in the movie Independence Day? Well, do you really think it cost $20,000 for a toilet seat?" So where the fuck is that money going? It's going to this. And who else knows what else? The military-industrial complex, the weaponization. Who the hell? But don't you think it's making some people a little nervous that they're gonna start digging. And how far did they dig? Like, this is a battle between the branches of government. How far do they push? Because this is gonna affect a lot of different branches of government. Not so much the judicial part, the Supreme Court, you know. This is gonna affect all the other branches. If people, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just speculating, and this is just my opinion. If people really want to think about deep state, this is deep state. But this is a small group throughout the years on a need-to-know basis that they were all in on this with ultra clearances that it's so secret, not even people in Congress, the president, executive branch, legislative branch, they don't even know what's going on. And they're pissed and they're tired of it. That's why they came up with the Whistleblower Act, to try to think that they could get more people to come forward. And here comes Grush. And there are more. So this is going to be interesting. It really is going to be interesting to see how much push and pull there is moving forward now. Can you imagine what's going on within these entities? Like looking behind their backs and wondering who's the snitch, who's the one giving out all this information. There must be some crazy things going on right now behind the scenes. A lot of nervousness. Because it seems like Congress is really not messing around. Do you understand? Judicial won't be involved on the onset. It may be eventually as it goes up the chain through the appeals courts and Supreme Court, but the judicial won't be involved in this. This is legislative and executive. They're the ones who pass the bills, not judges. Now, it may go eventually to a judge to see if it's unconstitutional, the law that they're trying to make a provision about. That's different. But this is not going to deal with the judicial branch at all on the onset. At all. John. At all. This has to do with the declassification process. That's why I keep flashing that amendment on the screen that Rubio, Rounds, Gillibrand, and Schumer are involved with. Because a lot of people are behind them on this. You don't put your name on something unless you know you've got the backing. You think Schumer's going to put his name on something not before speaking to the folks in the Senate? I'm gonna put my name on this. Do you support this? You don't think Rubio's talking to people? Of course they are. Did you see the bipartisan unity today at that hearing? When will you ever see a Republican follow up on a question that AOC asked? Are you kidding me? You'll never, ever, ever, ever see that again in your lifetime. Never. Never. That's a never. For these people to be in the same room without arguing and they're all pretty much together on something is miraculous. Without shouting and yelling at each other. This is a rare moment and opportunity. That's how bipartisan this is. It's almost strange to look at. Did nobody pick up on that? Nobody got that sense going on at the hearing? Except for the one guy who was a skeptic, which was great. Because we need that. We need somebody to ask those questions too. Skepticism is very healthy in a debate. There has to be that. It can't be one-sided. You need to have points from every side. That's the way it should be. For a nice, healthy debate, all opinions, all points are welcomed and to be taken. That's good. It can't be just one-sided. Bob is like, the dude that was at Mill is going to disappear. Well, he heard that his life, they threatened him. He's been threatened, his life. Luna brought that up. Is it in fact that you are currently living under the guise of threat to your life situation? Something like that. He said yes. Enough said. And he also said there are people higher ups that are going after me. Who are these higher ups? Do we have names? Can we bring these higher ups with names on a hearing? I guess we know who they are. I guess Congress knows who they are. Oh, I'll give you the list after the hearing. Let me ask you this question. You don't think they already have that list? Hell yeah, they do. They've got the list. They know exactly. So, to me, it was very interesting, the hearing. And man, I can't wait till the other stuff hits the shit hits the fan. Because it's gonna. I cannot emphasize enough. They got to see you live. Let me see what they're saying here. Okay, we don't want that one. I'm surprised. See now, I did this yesterday, and it's like, I use DuckDuckGo. I don't use Google. Now, I showed this yesterday. And this is an old article from May. Not that old. A couple of months. I showed this article yesterday. And it's not new. And they're on to this. They are on to this. Now, they have their own rules at the Department of Energy due to acts that are old, nuclear. And like Charles mentioned, I don't know if he's here. The special access programs in the Pentagon's ecosystem of secrecy. A hidden world most will never see. Not even Congress. The restricted access of highly classified information. Well, what the hell do you think they were talking about today? They can't even go into a skiff to see this. Access denied. Because it's coming from the Department of Energy and these black programs, projects. there's no oversight. Why do you think they kept saying it? And like Charles said, it was an oversight committee, duh. Well, what the hell? They have no oversight on this. Congress has no oversight on this. Think about that. That information is need to know, and you don't have a need to know. It's as simple as that. And important to note, established through the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, the Department of Energy uses two differing equivalent levels of security clearance. Q clearance, equivalent to a top secret level, and L clearance, equivalent to a secret level clearance. And no surprise there with that image. And who else? Who started the whole CIA? So this is the shit that they're battling. This is what they're battling right now. The SAPs. And this is where they're frustrated. Additionally, separate from an objective category, all special access programs fall under one or two distinctive protection levels, acknowledged or unacknowledged. Programs that existence and purpose can be openly recognized. Unacknowledged, not only is the program purpose carefully guarded, as the name implies, USAP's mere existence may be denied to everyone but a spare few who aren't part of the program. Given their shadowy presence, it should come to no surprise that funding from an unacknowledged SCP is either classified or intentionally hidden within the federal government. Congress doesn't even fucking know. So who's hiding it in the federal government? DOD? Department of Energy? Who has... This is where it's going to get crazy. So this is part of what you were hearing today. Look at this. In rare instances, when information is considered to be the most extremely sensitive in nature, the Secretary of Defense, bring him into a hearing, can formally exempt the program from federal reporting requirements and establish the pinnacle of the secrecy, the waived, unacknowledged SAP. Due to the ultra secretive nature, unacknowledged or waived unacknowledged SAPs serve as a fertile breeding grounds for conspiracies of hidden crashed UFO technology or vile government carve-outs whereby the general public's benefit is an afterthought. In truth, USAPs or waived USAPs, like anything else that lacks accessibility, verifiable fact, is likely mythicized. With that said, like any good myth, there's some truth and historical precedent that gives legitimate reason to be concerned with these deeply hidden programs. They put that in the article. Now, if you go to this has a lot of cool clickable links. Oh, that's the... I can't read it because they want me to pay. Screw them. Let's go back. So this is a really, really, really good article. That's totally off topic. But it has to do with the nuclear factor too. Yeah, this is totally different too. But it's a great article because it has so many links. I'll put this link again. This is the classification. Andy, stop. I'll put the link. Nevada National Security site. So there's a lot of interesting links that are associated with this main article. That's nuclear research. The question of oversight. That's why the Inspector General is involved. That's why that's involved. That Grush. They have their own oversight board. Whippy-doo. Okay, this is an interesting paragraph because I'm skimming. While there are congressional structures in place to provide oversight of the Department of Energy, the quality of oversight depends on many factors, including members' level of interest, the expertise of committee staff, the cooperation of the agency, and the attention of the press and public interest organizations. With respect to secrecy and classification at DOE, my impression is that the congressional oversight is nearly non-existent. But that is true regarding classification policy across the board. That is why this is happening. And I've been showing this a lot on the screen. The amendment. They want this amendment passed. Rubio, Schumer, Rounds, Gillibrand. Bipartisan. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Because they want it all. No more bullshitting. No more games. We're going to make an amendment in the law stating this is the way it's going to happen. Now, when John says judicial, yes, DOE, whatever agency might want to take this to court to fight this and take it all the way to the Supreme Court before it officially becomes law. That's when the judicial system will get involved. Because if they pass this, which is bipartisan, which most likely will pass, and we have to see if Biden can focus on the page to put his signature, sign off on it. Because even if he tried to deny it, I'm sure they'll have enough to override it. I think you need 2/3 majority. So even if he tried to not sign the bill, a filibuster, they probably got the majority filibuster to override the president. Because it's like I said, this is a large body majority that want this done. Because they're all pissed on the denial of information that they're able to get. Not just, like I said, on UAPs, but classification as a whole. So when people say, no, this means more to these people. This has to do with classification, period, and access to it. For anything. The UAP is just the means. They're using this as the means to get what they want for everything. That's like saying, what does the FBI really know? They don't want to release the information about Hunter Biden. They want access to everything. You cannot deny me now. We have access. We're Congress. we have the right to that information. I'm just using that as an example. It might be a poor example, but I'm saying across the board, they want this to be implemented for everything. This is because it's like, think of a case that happens in court. What did the lawyers do? They refer back to case this versus this. John, have a great night. No, it's public domain. That paperwork, that document is available. That's public domain. I downloaded it off of houseofrepresentatives.gov, I believe. That's public domain. That's not information that was sent to me. Somebody told me where to get it. I can't remember where I got it. I think it was House. Or could have been the... I forgot where I got the document, but that's public domain. Not a lot of people are aware of it because they don't know about it. Now, the one I showed earlier, I'm not so sure about. That one, I'm not so sure about. Exactly. Precedence, Kathy. Exactly. And I don't know. Let's look for it. Amendment for fiscal year 2024. Gillibrand, Rubio, Schumer, Rounds. And there it is. It's congress.gov. It's public domain. It should be this one. Okay, so that's the National Defense Authorization. That's the Gillibrand one. I don't see the other name. You just got to know where to look. How about that? This is February 16th. And the amendment's out now. Gillibrand Rubio leads 16 senators in bipartisan push for full funding of the... Because remember I said this, I've been saying it, money, 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 money. That's what that amendment's about for fiscal year 2024. So they've expanded on it. For full letter, click here. Deputy Secretary of Defense. This is 2022, so this is old. But you can find it. It's not... See, these are old. We need to put this on... Not anytime, past month. Here it is. There it is. That's it. This is it. It was sponsored by Schumer. But that's it. This is it. But I downloaded the PDF right here. Where's the names? I don't know if this is the whole thing. Oh yeah, right here. Mr. Schumer, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Rubio, Mr. Gillibrand. And there's actually more here. Submitted an amendment intended to be proposed by... What? By him. This is what's coming in the Senate. This is what's going to be on the floor of the fucking Senate. Remember, there are Republicans and Democrats on names on this bill. It's amendment. So when it goes to the floor, already, and I think they need 60. Don't quote me. I don't know how many they need. But there's what? What's the number now in the Senate? Democrats have the majority by one. So you already have two names on there that are Republican. That's 53. I'm sure this is going to pass on the Senate floor. So there it is. And you can download the PDF. That's one PDF. That's not the right one. That's text. But this is it. This is the whole UAP thing that I've been showing. This is all of it. This is it. So what I'm showing you is public domain. That's it. That's what I've been showing. What's on there, right there. So I'm not showing anything that I'm not supposed to be showing. It's accessible. Congress.gov, amendment. All information. Senator Rounds. See, it happened a couple of weeks ago. 7/13/23. Senator Rounds, Republican from South Dakota. So he's in on it. So there's the Republican. You all know who Schumer and Rubio is. And Gillibrand. But there's a couple of other names on this. Republican from Indiana. Interesting. Senator Todd Young. So there's 3. And another Democrat. Martin Heinrich. That's 6 members of Congress sponsoring this amendment. They're all in on it. So, again, if you dig and you look and you find it has been an amazing day, Kathy. And you do have to be careful. Andy sent me a private message in Skype. It's Andy. Any plans to be found face down in your pool? That's what I was laughing about before, because that's Andy. All I know is what happened earlier tonight on the phone. I pray information. You have to worry. You guys don't have the conversations like, say, I have with so many people, or people that run networks, or are in the middle of like all the shit that it's like you network to so many people. I'm sure Race experienced this and still is experiencing this. When you're in communication with so many people and it's coming at you. Oh shit. I can't open that because I don't know what's... Oh, no, I don't have the screen up. That's a very important email. Oh, shit. He didn't put the link. Okay, reply all. Did he put the link? He did not. So I'm going to do it. Renee's excited because she heard the phone call. She's freaking out. Renee is freaking out because when I was talking to her on Skype and she heard the call when it came in, she's like, oh my God, Bill. Oh my God. Is that for real? Yes, Renee, it's for real. I should bring her on, but I don't. Stop it, Bill. Stop it. Stop. course it's real. You're hearing it for yourself. It just happened to be I was on the Skype call with her when the call, and I told the person that she was on the call. And that she could be trusted. I should mess with her. I'm gonna call her, but I have to be I have to warn her not to say a word. I better message her. Wow, this could be scary. Don't. Oh my God. Pick up. Really? Don't say a word. Don't say a word. I'm live.
Then on Wednesday Saturdays, I co-anchor and co-founded a legal and political podcast.
What the hell are you watching? I can't hear nothing. Don't say a word about anything specific. I'm live streaming right now. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So, I just want you to verify the information that we got tonight. Wasn't it amazing?
It was really amazing, and I found.
Don't get into details, whatever you do.
Bill, I'm not a dummy. Or at least I hope not. But anyway, I think people would argue about that. But anyhow, I think that in light of, earlier today we had some great, hearings that I'm sure most people now know about, that for the first time seem to really, really take seriously a subject that we're all close to. And it really looks like action is going to be taken, that they're going to follow up on this. And it really does look like, what we always refer to as disclosure. And then on top of that, we got some pretty amazing news.
See how she laughs when she says it too? That like I'm laughing about it?
Yeah, quite incredible.
It is quite incredible.
Do it till it goes public.
Yes, that's why we can't say nothing. But
it will very soon, though.
Yes. I would say within 2 to 5 days.
Great. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So that's wonderful. So everybody just keep your eyeballs and peeled and your ears wide open, because you're going to be hearing about it. I'm if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be heard about first on KGRA.
Yes, that's the plan.
An exclusive announcement. Let's hope we can pull that off. But in any case, when it comes out, however it comes out, it's going to be really nice.
Yes. It's going to be nice.
In every field that we kind of look into, on the shows that we do on KGRA, whether it be, the ghost hunting shows, or whether it's UFOs, or whether it's, histories, mysteries, like a lot of what I do,
Mm-hmm.
It's rare when we have something new, something to chew on. Everybody can talk about. It's going to spark many, many conversations.
Yes.
And so
it's only the beginning.
It's not just we're not just pulling your legs, people. It really is some exciting news. And quite honestly, I don't even have all the details. That's how secret it is.
Yes.
So I have a vague idea, a small idea, and
you have a general idea what's going on.
I'm going to be waiting for it.
She is waiting. She's literally waiting because I got to inform her what happens in the next 24 hours, which
Okay.
it's going to happen, by the way, tomorrow. A special meeting is occurring.
Oh, great.
So as soon as that is concluded, I will be in contact with you.
Okay. All right. Well, what time is that meeting? If you need to get me on there, just call.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Because like you said, this is worse than the hearings on fucking classified information.
Oh, it's just.
It's like stupid top secret. It's crazy.
What's killing me? It's like, wow, that's a lot for one day. That's for
It
sure.
is a lot for one day.
Really big stuff.
And Renee can attest on the madness that I go through every minute of the day from multiple sources, because she's like, I'm getting so many calls and messages, and she's like, Bill, I don't know how you can handle all this. I don't know how you do it.
What are you talking about? I had to go take a Valium after.
Oh my God. Anyway, I love you. Kathy,
If I had one, I would have taken it.
ex-lady says hello.
All right. Hi, ex-lady.
Yeah, she is a big fan of your show, by the way.
Oh,
You know that. You know that. She's always there. She's always watching.
God love her.
She's awesome. She has been a KGRA supporter since pretty much the beginning.
Oh, and gosh, that's so appreciated.
She was
It
there
really-
before me.
You know, it's so nice because we all do what we love, but it's also a lot of hard work. So it's really nice to know there's really somebody out there.
That's listening and watching.
Exactly. It's
Oh
like
my
I'm
God.
not just talking to myself, so that's really wonderful.
She said it again. Hey, Renee.
Hey, hey.
So I love you. Tell James I said what's up, and do what you got to do. And I will be in contact with you tomorrow night because I don't have any live shows because the guest is dealing with a personal issue. And so once the meeting is done, I will be in contact with you to let you know
Yeah, just
what's
let me
going
know
on.
what you need me to do, if anything.
Yeah, because we got to figure out the timing of how this is going to get rolled out
Yeah,
to the public.
it's wonderful, and let me know however I can help.
You bet. I know I could always depend on that with you.
The right place at the right time today when you got that call.
I know you. That's what I was telling them, that I was talking to you on Skype, and I got that call, and you're hearing everything that's going on. It's like, what? I could hear you like yelling through the headphones, and I'm talking to him because you also heard about. I already said it. The hearings in the Senate in September.
Yeah.
You heard about that stuff. So,
That makes sense.
isn't it fucking exciting though to be like in the middle of it all, like kind of like what's breaking and what's going on? It's so exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And to see it just be taken on as another serious matter.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
something cuckoo and goofy and
Mocked.
weirdo. And,
Made fun
Yeah.
of. Yes.
exactly.
There was a lot. That's what was great about today. The serious tone,
Right.
the nature of the hearing.
Yeah. There's so much evidence, and there's so many people that have seen things on their own and all that. It's the only thing that makes sense is for science to really have a look at it. I hope we don't try to shoot them down. That's all I'm hoping.
Jimmy Church left KGRA to go to Onyx with race. That was a decision that was made. That was not in our control at KGRA. He decided he was going to go to Onyx and bring his show over there. And, that's just the way the nature of the business is.
It's not there anymore. That's my 2 bits.
And now Jimmy is really independent, doing his own thing, doing the Gaia TV show, because we had a nice conversation today. And we have no ill will against Jimmy. I mean, he had to do what he felt was best for him from a business perspective. So, blessings to Jimmy. That's all I can say about that. And that's already like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's been a while now.
Yeah.
It
And
was,
the thing is, it's you never want to burn bridges. You want to have things amicably agreed to, like, good luck, all that kind of stuff.
I'm still on good terms with all my ex-husbands.
Holy shit! So Jimmy and I had a nice conversation today, and like I said, I wish him the best, to him and his family, and he's been through a lot too. Jimmy's been through a lot personally. People don't realize we're all human beings, and we all go through our own issues, no matter who it is. We all have our stresses in life, and that's it.
There's a saying, I think it was Rumi, the philosopher Rumi, that said it. I'm not sure, but the saying goes, "Always be kind, because everyone is fighting a battle."
Yeah, and regardless, I always try to take the high road, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
Like you never know what kind of struggles that someone's having behind the scenes.
exactly.
And so,
Exactly.
like, always be nice, because you don't know what that person's dealing with right now. They could have just
Exactly.
lost a loved one. They could be drowning in debt. They could be having mental health issues. I mean, it could be, or just general health issues. It could be just any number of things. And I think, as we grow up, and, I'm pretty old now, the more I have gone through myself, the more I realize that, oh my goodness, that person, I have no idea, what's going on. They could be abused behind closed doors,
Uh-huh.
you just don't know. So I think the best thing that we can always do is just be good and treat people like we want to be treated.
Yeah. And trust me, I've made my share of mistakes dealing with people. Um,
I have.
you know that. A matter of fact, Renee doesn't even remember this, but during the IRN days, I was one of her biggest fans for her show Night Vision in chat. Marco, you could remember this. I was the questions guy. Renee, you don't remember that. In every show, I was the guy asking all the questions that you loved in chat, by the way.
Yeah.
And
I tell you were paying attention. I was very impressed. I was really listening to what I'm saying here.
But I pissed her off. She doesn't remember, because I did one show for Epic Voyages with Carol Call, and I got Louis Buff Parry, and she had just had Louis Buff Parry on like a few weeks before. How could you take my guest so soon after I had him on the show? And she was pissed. You don't remember this? But
I do.
Oh,
I
you
don't
do?
remember me yelling, but it could very well be true. As
So
I know.
that's what I'm saying, though. I can do things that piss people off.
Yeah, but you didn't do it on purpose.
No. Absolutely
So,
not.
that's the difference. And yeah, I mean, you've known me long enough to know now that, something may upset me or even piss me off, but it's like, let's talk about it and go forward.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean the end of the world,
Yeah.
I mean, Jay and I, James Martin, my cohort on Night Vision, and I, we don't always agree on things,
And
But-
none of us do. None of us do. But we
Yeah,
have to
they-
respect each other and agree to disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
That's all. And move on. Move on.
Honesty is a big deal
It is.
in that equation. Just
Um,
be.
I got a question for you now.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Are you going back to France? Is something big coming up for you?
Well, I am going back to France. Now, I'm trying to get back in October for a couple weeks, but I'm not sure. But definitely, I'll be back in the spring. James and I are producing a tour for the spring, but it's booked up pretty much. It's a private tour. Uh, it's kind of a memorial tour for my late friend Gloria Amendola,
Yep.
who you knew, and
Uh-huh.
it's all her group, her ladies, and hopefully her son and his girlfriend, and we're going to do a little memorial over there. But we've got some amazing stuff. So as I'm trying to decide whether to go ahead and open up now and schedule a second one for the public, because one of the things that we're featuring is, or I should say, one of the people we're featuring is the most amazing psychic medium I have ever met in my life, and I think you
Heather?
would coach me on that.
Heather, right?
Yes. So Heather is going with us, and we're going to be going to different locations. We're going to be having some, connections with loved ones on the other side. Hopefully, Gloria, I'm sure she will, because she constantly butts in all the time. When Heather's trying to talk to someone else, she goes, "I don't know why, but your friend Gloria loves to harass you," and that's because I harassed her all the time. And she said, "Oh yeah," she's laughing at that. But anyhow, and then we're going to go to some places, some historical sites, and see what Heather picks up in those places. Although we're not going to tell her where we're going, we're just going to show up in a place. We're going to do a ghost hunt. We're going to do a UFO watch, because we'll be out there near Mount Bugarash, where people claim to see UFOs coming in and out. Very famous mountain.
I know.
Julesburn.
I remember you guys discussing and showing the photos of that. I think James had photos of that, didn't he?
Yeah. And Jules Verne wrote Journey to the Center of the Earth about that mountain. And it was also known to have been an inspiration to Steven Spielberg for Close Encounters
Now,
of the
I got to ask this question that I don't even know. I don't want to put you on the spot with this question. But wasn't there
I just hang up now.
wasn't there an incident or incidents that happened in France? I don't know if it was the filming for your documentary or on a separate occasion where you felt fear about what you were doing in France?
Well, it wasn't, like I said often, in retrospect, we should have been afraid, but we were too stupid. But we were followed, and one of our team members got his brake lines cut, and we had our phones tapped, not only in a hotel in France, but back in Los Angeles in our production offices. It was pretty crazy. And I had someone, hacking into my messages, which back then was AOL Instant Messenger. And I was talking to my business partner who was back in France, and he was planning on going out to this secret location that night and checking it out. And someone took over his side of the conversation. And it was very weird. So I called him on the phone.
Did they try to intimidate you not to go?
No, I think they were just trying to make me think that they were him and just keep me talking. And they knew way too much stuff that was just between my partner and I. Like, we had a little secret word thing that we would do when we were typing to each other, if we had any doubts at all about who we were really speaking to. And they did that to me. I'm not going to tell you what the process was, but they did it.
Right.
And so they knew that we had that little thing set up, that little mechanism set up to verify each other. It was weird. But yeah, it was pretty wild at the time. We were just moving and shaking, and we were so tired. We took 5 years to do that film, and we raised all the money on our own, and so it was like, hurry up and wait, and we were just crazy. And it never really occurred to us that anybody would be interested enough in little old us to really do us any damage. But, looking back, I think, well, that was very, very weird.
But just
It was a time when someone that we were going to visit suddenly died very mysteriously.
Just to give people a little context of your background, tell them some of the TV shows and documentaries that you were associated with.
Oh, gosh.
Jesse
well,
Ventura, I mean.
Oh, yeah, I did Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Guinness Book of World Records, Unmasked, Exposing the Secrets of Deception.
A lot. A lot.
And a lot of documentaries for, discovery and travel and those kind of things. A lot of them in the sort of paranormal genres, too.
Yeah.
So that's it. And
that's it? That's a lot. That's just a tip. But Renee is very well. And, oh, wait, let me not forget. You also worked with Don and Vicky Ecker on UFO Magazine.
Oh, yeah. That was before I started working in television. I was the managing editor of UFO Magazine.
Later, David.
Worked with Don and Vicky. And I think I was there about 5 years. And at that time, did a radio program with Dawn called UFOs Tonight. Yep. For 5 years. And then I got my first TV job at Strange Universe, which I might say was my favorite TV job. The first one was the best. It went downhill from there.
Well, thank you for coming on for a little bit and sharing the excitement on the upcoming, hopefully, news that KGRA will be releasing along with another entity.
Yes.
And that could happen within the next 2 to 5 days.
Yeah.
And also the excitement about these upcoming, at least the upcoming hearing that's hopefully going to happen in September in the Senate.
Yeah, I feel like things are rolling now.
Oh, they are.
On that score.
I've got to make, not now because I'm live, but I got to make another very important call to see what someone else has to say about that. It's too late to call now, but love you. Tell James I said hello and hope he's feeling better. I do what you got to do, and I will contact you tomorrow evening after I have my meeting.
Sounds really good, Bill. Thank you.
All right, love you. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. She's awesome. She's a sweetheart. Renee's a sweetheart. She's smart as a whip. She's been doing this a long time. And she's been involved in a lot of documentaries, TV shows. I mean, she's got one hell of a resume, as you heard her mention a few. And you see how I told her, Kat, you're like one of her big fans? She appreciates it. She really does. It's one thing about Renee. She's like down to earth. And she's not afraid to speak her mind. That's for sure. And like she said, sometimes like her and James have a disagreement. People butt heads. That's okay. As long as it doesn't get way spin out of control. Big Pug. I just read that. No, it's not about that. I try to stray away from that unless I'm super drunk and then I get on my rants and I get out of control in a stupid way. I'm not there yet. And I don't think it's going to happen tonight because tomorrow's a crazy day. But I tend to stay away from that kind of stuff. But it's not the only news that happened today. We were talking about the hearings, Pig Pug. Well, the hearing. The subcommittee hearing, GOP oversight subcommittee on UAPs, which was interesting because it was bipartisan, and it's like I was laughing. Roman was there because there was not many AOC fans in chat. Let's just say that. I am one of them. I'm not a fan of her. I'm glad she's in New York and not upstate New York. Thank God. Sorry, but that's the way I feel about it. But it was kind of funny when you have AOC asking questions and then Republicans following up. And yeah, what AOC mentioned earlier, I'd like to go forward with that point. Like, you'll never, ever, ever, I don't think in my lifetime that will ever happen again. And yeah, her eyes when they talked about the red square. She was like, what the fuck? The size of a football field? The red square? She was almost stumbling. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. But that is so bizarre to see. No yelling, no shouting matches. Everybody was like all calm and working together in a very rare moment in a House subcommittee, GOP oversight committee with AOC in it. Oh my God. It was bizarre. It was, and like I said, you'll never see that again unless they have another hearing with the same kind of people in it. And it'll probably be similar. But it was kind of funny to see that. What's up, V? Sushi chilling in the fridge waiting for the munchies. Oh man, I don't even know if I have munchies. Oh, because they eat them all. I went to the store yesterday and bought 2 dips and 2 bags of tortilla chips. I know one cheese dip is gone. The other one is missing. So I would like to know where that one went because it has disappeared. So somebody has it in their room. So when SpaceX, when this thing goes, I need my munchies. Now I have leftover tacos, so I can always splurge on those. But I'm not ready there. I'm not ready for that yet. But yeah, Roman's in Rumble with Pig Pug, and maybe the 3 others that are watching on Rumble. And hello to everybody on Trovo. We have a couple of new faces, but they come in. It's there's a lot of gamers on Trovo. Now I have it on Chit Chat, but they must come in and say, what is this crazy person talking about? UFOs and UAPs and this and that. And they're like, I'm fucking out of here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I haven't had Cheez-Its in a long. Oh my God. Tycho!
Oh my God. Tycho!
Must be a raccoon. Make sure that door's locked. He'll bust that door and run open.
Wow.
Let me see. Oh my God. What the hell's he going crazy about?
Wow. What is it?
I don't know. Holy that was scared the shit out of me.
What is it?
Raccoon.
Close the door.
It's locked.
No,
Raccoon.
close the door.
That's all right. You can't. It's all right. I'm gonna put the air on. Yeah, it's hot in here. That was a raccoon. I knew it was a raccoon. Listen, where's the other cheese dip? I bought 2. One is empty. Where's the other one? Oh, you got it. Can I have the chips too? I knew it was you because you're the mouse. You are the mouse. I'm surprised there's still apple pie. I knew it. I knew it.
Do you know
What?
that the sharks,
Yeah?
they usually go for the cereal?
Of course, Mom.
Now they're eating their own kind.
Yes. That's not new. That's not new news.
I never knew that.
Well, you never knew it, but that's not new. That's In a feeding frenzy, sharks will feed on each other.
Now they said that to give water to the dogs because they walk in the dogs in New York City.
Did you hear him? He went nuts. No, oh my! No, she wasn't in the closet. She was in the bathroom right there. And I had the camera, you see me. I'm like, there's fucking noises coming from my bathroom. And mom's hiding behind the sink, making the noises. Like a little kid. And then I saw her and I got scared. I was like, holy shit! Because I didn't know it was mom right away. Until my eyeballs focused in and saw it was mom. All I saw was like a figure. You know what I mean? It takes a couple seconds to like see in the darkness of the bathroom and see it's mom. I'm like, what the? Oh my! And that's bad. She's bad. Trust me, she's no innocent person. I don't know where she is. She might be in the bathroom now. She's not innocent. She does her share. And she got me. And like that just made my heart skip with Tycho going crazy. Because it was out of nowhere. Just like the thunderstorm yesterday. When that bolt hit, I'm sitting here and I was like, holy shit, because it was close. I mean, speaking of weather, tomorrow might be rough. It's like every other day. Severe storms. Every other day. Oh, she is in the bathroom. Or is that Tycho opening doors?
Wow, what a mess in this little.
You want to come say hello? Here, come on camera. Oh, hell no. You ain't coming on camera with her. She's doing her hair. That is a scary sight right now. That is just downright creepy, scary Halloween type shit. Oh my God. She's got her hair is like wet. She's ready to do it, I guess.
No, that's the vitamin. You see how much hair I got now?
Oh, she's putting vitamins in her hair. And now Tycho's getting in on the action, barking at her. Do you know if they come near me, he will attack them?
Psycho doesn't like it.
Tycho's scared. Even Tycho's scared. The fucking dog is scared. That says it all. Maybe Tycho doesn't even identify her the way she looks right now. She looks like Cousin It. Even like Tycho's like, who the hell is that? Oh my God. This house could, I'm not kidding, the stuff that goes on here could be a sitcom in itself. If I was to stream Mom and I's interaction like in one room for like an hour, just an hour, that's all we need. The stuff that goes on between is, it could be good 1 minute and the shit is downhill. It's like bipolarism in this house with the two of us. 1 minute everything's fine. Think of the honeymooners, but son and mother. Think of the honeymooners, how it went back and forth.
This door is open, no? You see?
But the other door is locked.
Yeah.
That door is open. I mean, Mom, what are you doing?
Oh, shut up.
Why are all the doors open when I just put the air
I
on?
want to see if I see the raccoon.
Do not worry about the raccoon. He's gone. He got scared off after Tycho just had a fit. He ran. He scared me. You don't think the raccoon's gonna not get scared from that? Raccoon was like, holy shit!
But you see how aggressive?
Oh, he got very aggressive.
You saw that?
He wanted to attack it.
Yeah. What is this?
You want to see her get pissed? Tycho, get her.
Guess who? That's one thing you don't teach him.
See? Mom says that's one thing you don't do. Because one time, Tycho's laying on the bed with me. Mom comes close. And I said, Ma, come on, get closer. She goes, I'm not getting closer. And I said, Tycho, get her. He showed his teeth and growled. I very rarely hear Tycho growl. So Mom, from that point on, Mom says, don't you ever do that again. So I do that as a joke. Because it pisses her off. So I can be bad too. He wants, if he's doing that, he might be hungry because he's doing it to you.
I know.
That's,
There.
so you know, Ma, come here.
Ma, come on.
This is true. If I'm in the room and that door is closed, he's here now. What? What's going on with you? If he's in the other room and I'm in here, he will bark at that door to let him in. He's here now. And he's talking a lot.
You want to go outside, Tycho?
Are you hungry? Ma, Tycho's hungry!
Are you hungry, Tycho?
But no. 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 Not right now. Wait. Wait.
Tycho wants to go outside.
He knows the word wait. That is about going outside. And I took him out, what? An hour and a half ago.
Go and get Bill. You want to go outside, Tycho? Tell Bill.
Good night, V.
Go, Tycho. Go.
Mom, close the door. I hate when she does that. I just put the air on. Close the door. Ma, close the door. She's gonna make me get up. She does this every time. Ugh. Don't forget, find me the dip and chips. My laundry is still sitting in the washing machine because somebody in this house is... I don't want to get into that conversation. Roman. Mom is not Alexa. But bullshit. I don't think Marco's here. Alexa, make an announcement.
What's the announcement?
Ma, bring me my chips and dip.
Announcing.
Ma, bring me my chips and dip. So yes, Roman. Alexa can help with Mom. It may not be Mom, but it sure can help with Mom. Now, SpaceX is 37 plus minutes away for the Heavy. It's always great to see these kind of launches.
For Billy. Shut up.
Oh my God. You see that? That was the message back. Shut up. Oh my God. You can't make it up. You just can't. We're gonna have like an argument over Alexa to each other. Well, X. I mean, they're gonna start their coverage at 11. I haven't looked to see what the actual launch time is. Maybe somebody could find out. Their coverage is starting 11. Doesn't mean the launch is having an 11. It's not like, okay, we're on. It's launching. I'm sure it's... Oh my God. Am I afraid to look how much damage was done? There's nothing here.
There is nothing.
Ma, there's nothing here.
Also, I gotta get the other one. I don't know. Yeah.
See if there's another one.
There's gotta be another one.
There has to be another one. That one's empty. The nerve. And you better bring the other tortilla bag chips too, because there's nothing in here either.
I don't know what.
It's all the crumbs. It's there. It's over there. This is insulting. Yes, X, it is. We have 5 Alexas in the house. Where? We're at 5. Look at this. Look at that. And you know what the bottom of the bag is, right? Always? The freaking crumbs. You can't even dip with the shit on the bottom of the bag. That's the smash stuff. What am I supposed to do with this? And what about this? This is what you bring me? That's what you bring me? Insulting. It's empty. Uh-oh. Now that's what I'm talking about, I hope. This one feels just as light. Oh my, this is impossible. You're laughing too, you. This is not funny.
I didn't know.
The second one is empty too.
No, it's not.
Ma, it's empty shit.
No, it's not.
Ma,
It's not.
it's empty.
No, use the how
long do I got? Don't even, I don't use the fork. Like a fork is gonna help me with that?
No, pick it
Fork
up.
you. I would need a spoon.
Okay.
I'm going to the store right now. I'm going to the store right now to buy me some dip. No. Because I'm craving for it and I can't do nothing
take
with
this.
this. All right, get me a spoon so I could combine the two. Maybe I get something out of the two. Oh shit, I got sour cream, but I don't think I have onion soup mix. Or do I? Ooh, what an idea. That's a great... I don't know if I have onion soup mix. Good one, though. I mean, you get the munchies, you know what I'm saying? Munchies are inevitable. Roman's like, I can't do that no more. Why is it always I have incidents? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I do have a popcorn maker, and I have popcorn.
And that's good for you too. Very popular.
Yeah, that's true too, X.
But that taco take you off.
But when you're a beast and you'll eat anything, it doesn't matter. You just want it. Now, I want to see how bad this is going to get. That's what I'm saying. The store is 3 minutes away. Oh, this is not manageable. Oh my God, this is not manageable. What time is it? 10:27. Screw that. I'm going to the store. This is pissing me. And I'm the one who buys it. You know what I mean? I'm the one who buys it. You know what's the worst? When you buy something and it's gone and you didn't even get a chance to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? My God. So that combined to that. There's still nothing in there. I just don't want to disappear off the screen for like 10 minutes while I'm the dead silence. But I'm pissed now. Because if I'm going to make this move, I've got to make this fucking move now. I am pissed. But I got to get my sneakers, which I don't even know where they are. I'm going to the store! I'm not. Where's my socks? You guys, one thing about me, if you don't know this by now, I get these impulsive things, and I've done it before. I will run to the store in the middle of anything because I get in those moods. like nothing's gonna stop me kind of mood. It's the Aries stubbornness. Where are the keys? Where's my wallet? Wallet is here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, here, enjoy your little cheese dips. You ain't getting none of mine. Nah, I won't do that. But I will say it initially. Okay, we can't have my swim shorts fall off while I'm in the store. We need my phone because I need music. So I'm gonna put on a show for the meantime, just a file while I run to the store because I'm going. I know what I'll do. Better yet, because it is KGRA too. Anybody want anything from the store in chat? I don't know if I'm buying the cheese one though. And I'm gonna get ripped off now. I'm gonna get ripped off because I'm going to the gas station to get the dip and stuff. They're gonna rip me off. So I'll pay like double. All right, I'm gonna play this. This was what aired earlier. I'll be back. I'm muting.
Well, we're back.
We're back.
This is Martin Wills with Chris Lido Files, and we had an exciting day. It was beyond expectations, if you ask me. The whole thing, the whole experience was just surreal. I should say, I got in line.
Yes.
Yes. 5:40 a.m.
You got the word. Yeah, we had a plan.
Yeah, we had a plan, and yeah, Chris didn't wake up.
Chris did not wake up. Yeah, he was going to call if people were showing up in line. We're going to get a call.
They were, yep. So we did this really interesting thing as we were across the street from the building because that building opened up earlier. And then we went inside and went down through a tunnel into the Rayburn building. And then once we got there, we stood in line and we were the first basically block of people that got there. We watched other people like waltz in at 9 o'clock and get front row seats where we waited, all that time. But anyway, and there was an issue where some people cut in line in front of us and we almost did not get in.
We almost didn't.
And if I didn't speak up, we would have not gotten in. But I said, hey, these people right there, they got here at 7. I was here at 5:40 and the guy listened to me, luckily. And he let us in. So we got in, my producer, Donna, and I, Chris, we got the last
I barely snuck in. Like they said stop, and and then there's one more seat at the end, and then I went in.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Boy, was that close.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. Let's see. Let me just. I have something I forgot to remove here. Okay. And let me just finish this and back again. So a couple of things. I've been speaking with Randall Nickerson of the Ariel Phenomenon movie, the great filmmaker, good friend. And I talked to him last night and I said, well, where are you now? And he said, I'm in front of the building. And I said, well, what are you going to do? And he says, I'm staying here. He got there and stayed there overnight just to get in. He was first in line. And so when people were like the reporters were coming up along the line, and by the way, we both got on interviewed by CNN.
Yes,
they were looking for Martin, and Chris jumped in. Hey, by the way,
I stepped in front of the camera. Actually, they were handing the microphone So Martin and I stepped in front.
Yeah,
And,
what a ham. But anyway, so we both were interviewed by CNN. But anyway,
yeah.
reporters, and I said, well, do you want to speak to someone interesting? You know, there's Daniel Sheehan, the lawyer, Harvard lawyer. There's, you know, these different people standing in line. And Daniel agreed to be on the show later on in a couple of months. But so I'd say, oh, you gotta go talk to Randall Nickerson. He was here. He was the first one here, and he's a filmmaker. So he said to me, you know, or just before we went in, he goes, all these people are asking me, you know, like, were you really the first one here? So anyway, here's a clip of Randall Nickerson.
Well, first of all, Randall, it's always a pleasure to see you.
You too, Martin.
Yeah, and I love your hat.
Thanks.
I got the same hat and shirt. But so tell me, we were in touch last night. When did you start standing in line here?
9 o'clock.
Last night.
Last night.
Last night. And how did you know to go to this side of the building so we can go through the tunnel and get there a little bit earlier?
I didn't figure that out until somebody had mentioned something here, but I knew this was the quickest way into the building, but at 7:30. But I found out from these guys that it's actually, you can get in at 7, go through the tunnel underneath,
Yeah.
and get in the line at 7.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. So how is your film doing these days?
it's getting there. It's getting a lot of theatrical attention, which is great. It's kind of been a movie that, you know, was made for theaters.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're just trying to get it around the world in theaters. That's
And
the
you were
main
just
goal.
in Tennessee last
Tennessee. We just had a really awesome screening in Tennessee.
Yeah,
It was
that
great.
was great. So it's funny, when I was walking around the building, I talked to some guy and he said, yeah, there's someone over there that everybody knows. And I said, I know exactly who it is. But anyway.
But I'm glad to be here to just support these guys that are taking the risk to testify, and they're some of our best guys, and I just really appreciate it, and that's why I'm here, is just to support those people for what they're doing, which is trying to bring out the truth, and so we can evolve a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Do you have high hopes for this hearing, or do you think it'll help push things along where more people come forward?
I don't know how fast this will move, but I do believe that every little bit helps at this point. And there's just so many credible people coming forward at this time. I think it's just inevitable that we're entering a new kind of paradigm of, realizing we're not alone.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Oh yeah.
It's just a huge
The
historic
biggest
moment.
The biggest story or whatever, the
Yeah.
biggest question answered.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be answered.
And I think it's exciting because then we can ask more questions, because we don't know very much about what's even happening.
Yeah.
Really.
You don't even know the right questions to ask until we know
Right.
more.
We don't have the vocabulary for a lot of these things. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, great to see you as always.
You too as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, always fun to talk. And we just found out he's in the same hotel I am, so we're going to hang out tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. So it was, I'm going to play some more clips as we go along here, but it was really just amazing to be here in person, to get in that door, and then standing in line. It was fun.
Very fun. The time went by. It was
knew you and knew me, and
yeah.
did a lot of selfies, and that was a lot of fun meeting with a lot of people right down the line. There were hundreds of people. As far as I could see down.
I heard thousands outside the building when we were going in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
there was a lot.
Just that alone, that's a statement right there, that when all these people showed up from all over, it was really, really quite amazing. And, we got in at 10 minutes of, and I just wanted to let everyone know that I filmed the entire hearing.
Yes.
So I wanted to do it from a bystander or someone in the audience, what it was like to be there. And unfortunately, it's kind of the back of the heads, but sometimes a profile of David Grush and Ryan Graves and David Fravor. But I captured them and the people asking the questions all from inside the room. So I'm going to premiere that probably tomorrow night. I got to edit it, put it together, but it's over 2 hours. It might be kind of boring for a lot of people, but I'm still going to run it, and I'll be in the chat room. So I'm going to say tomorrow night, Thursday at 8 p.m., I'm going to put that video out. And it may be boring for some that already watched the hearing, or, it may be interesting to see from a different perspective. But so I just want to ask you, Chris, there was one phrase that David Grush said very, very loud, and we both got to meet David, which was very
it
very
was
quickly,
awesome.
but, but the one phrase that he said very loudly, I don't know if you were watching the hearing, if you caught that, but he said non-human bodies.
The bodies.
Yeah,
Yes.
we talked about the bodies. And he very clearly said it very loudly that they were non-human. He wanted to make that very, very clear that that's what, not that he saw, but of what he knows about.
And he knew where the locations were.
Yes.
And he said he had already passed those locations and the people that had firsthand knowledge of it to,
they already have that information. There's a lot of information, of course, that David Grush could not talk about that, but he has already spoken to other people about it. And that I think should spark debate enough for people to get really interested in getting this thing moving along.
Mission accomplished. Now I'm happy. I'm happy now. I got my shit. I got my munchies. That didn't even take long. Not even 10 minutes, right? And there was a line. So I got myself the salsa con queso, medium, Tostitos. We got the chunky salsa. Not one, but two. And of course the matching Tostitos. So it's a Tostitos night. Oh my God, you can't make this shit up. It's like, Bill, you're like a little child with a tantrum. God forbid. You're my son. But I'm not. And the other one doesn't even know I even left the house. She doesn't even know I was gone. That's the funny part. Oh shit, that's too funny. Anyway, we've got the SpaceX thing going on. I don't know how this has been going, what you've been listening to, but it's with Martin and Chris. I'm sure it was a little interesting, no? Why is nobody commenting? What the hell's going on in here? I know why, because everybody else went to get munchies too. I started a trend. Fuck this, I'm going to get munchies too. And yes, we are 18 plus. At least we should be. For real, I think everybody bailed. I leave for 10 minutes, not even. And everybody's gone. YouTube is broken. I see you guys in chat. I see your comment, Bob and Michael. I don't know how broken it could be. All I know is I'm freaking hot in here and the air conditioner's on. I tried to leave it off all day hoping there'd be some kind of a breeze in the house. No luck. It was horrible. Matter of fact, I better check the weather out for tomorrow because I could have sworn they said we're going to get some storms tomorrow. Oh my God, it's setting up. Look at this shit. I don't even have to look. Just based on that radar, it's coming this way. Because I don't want to have to do a weather explanation, but when you see it like this, you know it's coming down. and going across. You just know it. Just by looking at it. You know it. When you see a bow like that, it's either going this way or it's going slightly downward. And all this shit is going east. You see? You could tell just by looking at it. So there you go. There's tomorrow's. What the hell is that? Oh, that's SpaceX getting ready to go on. So all that shit is coming tomorrow. Let me kill SpaceX for a second. Heat advisory is in effect. What's it gonna be like tomorrow? 90s, 100? Tomorrow to Friday. Heat index values up to 100. Nice. 100 to 104. Fuck. Here we go. Let's see what they're saying for. Look, there you go. Strong PM thunderstorm. Thunderstorms can bring flooding, downpours, hail, and damaging wind gusts. Tomorrow. Unbelievable. It's every other day. Every other day we're getting this crazy weather. But SpaceX is about to start, and that's what we're gonna watch. So we're gonna get more tomorrow. Kathy, it could be you, it could be myself, Michael, anybody in the Northeast, from Jersey northward, New England, tomorrow afternoon. You're eating soggy crackers. If you were here, you could hang out with me and you could share my. I would share my Tostitos with you. Because I did go to the store. I bought cheese. And I bought salsa. Can't just walk out with one. Because eventually they're going to find out that I went to the store. They don't even know that I went to the store. So once SpaceX starts, I'm going to mute. And we're going to watch this feed. I think we can make it full screen now. Where's my camera? It's not on yet. Actually, being up there might be better, but smaller. I'm just waiting for them to come into the room. Oh yeah, sneaky. They didn't even know I left. They have no idea. Now, the thing is, I don't want to open two. I don't like doing that. It's gonna be either one or the other gets open. Now, I've been eating the cheese, so I think I'm going to go with the salsa. But the salsa gives me heartburn. And Michael's having a 5-layer taco dip. Oh, shit. You know what? I made a critical mistake. I didn't even have to go to the store. I have leftover taco mix, and I have shredded cheese with sour cream. I could have just dipped that right out of a bowl. Michael, if you would have said that 10 minutes ago, I would never would have went to the store. Because that made me think about it. That would have been good too. Just saying. I'm going with the salsa. I'm not going to open this until I'm off camera and muted. But we're waiting for this to officially start, which we still got, if it's on schedule, 12 minutes. Oh. Here we go.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon separation confirmed.
Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed.
Sometimes this looks just like out of a science
Hello,
fiction.
everyone, and welcome to the Falcon Heavy webcast for tonight's Jupiter 3 mission. My name is Ronnie Foreman, and I'm joining you from the West Coast, from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, to follow our Falcon Heavy rocket liftoff from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Today's launch marks SpaceX's third Falcon Heavy mission this year and sixth operational Falcon Heavy mission overall. Today, we'll be launching the Hughes Jupiter 3 EchoStar 24 satellite into space for our customer EchoStar and their Hughes Network Systems division. The Jupiter 3 payload on board the second stage was built by Maxar and will be the largest commercial communications satellite ever to launch into geostationary orbit, weighing over 9 tons. Once operational, Jupiter 3 will help meet demand for HughesNet satellite internet in rural areas of the United States and Latin America, as well as demand for Explore service for rural customers in Canada. In addition to supporting enterprise and government applications, Jupiter 3 will also power higher speed satellite internet service plans in North America, while helping to expand and enhance HughesNet across Mexico, Brazil, and South America. We'll have more about our customer and their payload later on during the show, so be sure to stay tuned. At T-minus 13 minutes and 45 seconds, all systems are currently go for an on-time liftoff of 11:04 p.m. Eastern Time. The vehicle started propellant loading around the T-minus 50-minute mark and is nearly fully loaded with propellants now. Weather is green and the range is also ready to support. But if for some reason we don't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. The Falcon Heavy that you can see on your screen is essentially 3 Falcon 9 rockets strapped together. Having 3 cores instead of just the one on Falcon 9 means that we are using 27 engines between the 2 side boosters and center core today, and that allows us to carry heavier payloads to various orbits in space. From a technical standpoint, we are creating a more powerful first stage that carries more fuel and burns longer than the first stage on a typical Falcon 9 mission. Now, at the very top of our rocket, as you can see on your screen, is our payload fairing. This is where the Jupiter 3 satellite is safely enclosed between 2 composite pieces. The fairing protects the payload from aerothermal loads, heating, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of space, though, the fairing isn't needed anymore, so we will jettison both halves as the second stage continues on its journey to orbit. Both fairings supporting today's mission are flight-proven, with one half flying for its 5th time and the other for its 6th. Once those fairing halves separate from the second stage, we will of course be attempting to recover them again today with the help of our recovery vessel, Doug. Now, right below the fairing, we have a second stage, which is connected to the 28th engine on board Falcon Heavy. This is our Merlin vacuum engine, and its job is to power the payload to its final targeted orbit once the center core and second stage separate. The second stage for this mission is also debuting a new medium coast configuration. Just in case you didn't know, our second stages have 3 general configurations: standard, medium, and long coast. And we use different configurations depending on how long the second stage needs to operate after launch. A medium coast kit, which is what we're using today, provides better performance for some missions and includes an added battery loaf or power pack, a painted gray stripe on the outside of the fuel tank, and other hardware to make sure that the fuel and stage systems operate as long as needed. Now, if you look very closely at the stage 2 on your screen, you can just barely see that stripe of gray paint that I mentioned. While in space, that paint will absorb some heat from the sun in order to keep the second stage fuel warm enough for our long flight today. Payload deployment for Jupiter 3 is scheduled to occur after 3 second stage engine burns and occur around the T+3 hour and 30-minute mark. We hope you'll stick with us till the end. Now, moving further down the rocket, as I mentioned a little bit earlier today, we have 3 Falcon 9 rockets essentially strapped together. All 3 constitute our first stage. Each of the side boosters on either side of the center core are flying for the 3rd time on today's mission, having previously supported 2 Falcon Heavy flights, USSF 44 and 67. A couple of minutes after liftoff, we'll attempt to recover both side boosters with a land landing on landing zones 1 and 2. And fun fact, landing zone 2 was built specifically to support dual booster landings like this one. Similar to previous launches, we'll be conducting a 1-engine entry burn. This allows us to shorten the length of the entry burn, ultimately allowing us to increase performance of Falcon Heavy overall. And speaking of increased performance, we will not be attempting to recover the center core today. If you look very closely, you'll see that the center core doesn't have landing legs or grid fins attached. That's because this mission requires more performance than we have to be able to recover the center core, and that landing hardware isn't needed. But don't worry, today's launch should still be a very exciting one, especially if you're joining us from the Space Coast tonight, where you should be in for some beautiful nighttime landing views. And now, as promised, here's a bit more information about our customer and satellite today.
For over half a century, we've been on a journey to connect people, enterprises, and things around the world. Innovation runs deep in our veins, from developing the two-way VSAT in the 1980s, to inventing satellite internet in the 1990s, to launching the first modern-era telecommunications satellite in the 2000s. We've tackled the biggest connectivity challenges and applied our engineering excellence to uncover innovative ways to connect the unconnected. Since the launch of the first Hughes high-throughput satellite, we have engineered some of the highest capacity broadband.
I was wondering where my other mason jar went.
And now, our latest and greatest innovation launches a new era of connectivity. Jupiter 3, the world's largest commercial communications satellite. 26 feet tall when stowed, it boasts 14 solar panels unfurled. This massive satellite was purpose-built and engineered like no satellite before. Hundreds of team members have devoted countless hours to bring Jupiter 3 to life. The highly anticipated next-generation ultra-high-density satellite doubles the size of the Hughes Jupiter fleet and brings total throughput to more than 1 terabit per second, enabling more capacity, better service, and faster speeds. With 300 highly concentrated spot beams, Jupiter 3 expands our reach to nearly 80% of the population across North and South America. The engineering ingenuity built into Jupiter 3 will expand the connected experience.
I went to get a Modelo.
For the family in Ohio, streaming movies on a
fantasy,
Friday night.
fantasy.
For the
It's your
student
fault.
in Mexico, expanding her horizons with access to technology and educational tools. For the farmer in rural Idaho, monitoring the weather each day to manage his crops. For the executive, flying from New York to Los Angeles, holding a meeting over first-class Wi-Fi in the sky. For the senior in Montana, consulting with his doctor by telehealth. For the ranger at a national park, coordinating in real time with emergency responders. For the mango grower in Brazil, expanding her family business nationwide and internationally. For the entrepreneur in Ecuador, promoting his business and taking customer orders. For the grandmother in Mississippi, meeting her new grandchild by video chat. All this and more as Jupiter 3 launches a new era of join us.
With liftoff just about 6 minutes and 15 seconds from now, the vehicle and payload are healthy, and propellant load is well underway on the launch pad. Speaking of the launch pad, you may often hear the pad on your screen referred to as Historic Launch Complex 39A, and there's good reason for that. LC-39A was originally built to support the Apollo program with the goal of landing humans on the moon. This launch pad eventually supported the Apollo 11 mission to the lunar surface, carrying NASA astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins in July of 1969. So we're just about a week past the 54-year anniversary. And after numerous launches of the Saturn V and space shuttle vehicles, the launch pad was leased to SpaceX in 2014. Since then, we've launched 66 missions and 38 humans to space from Launch Complex 39A. Today's mission will mark SpaceX's 249th overall mission to date, our 67th mission from 39A, and 50th launch of 2023. We look forward to reaching even greater space milestones on this launch pad for years to come. Now, coming up next, we should hear the call out for Strongback Retract.
Does this not ever get boring to watch? Every time, it's just amazing to see this. It really is. But when it's really going to get interesting is when the next...
Heavy tanks are pressing for Strongback Retract.
So there you heard Mission Control confirming that we are
The next test of the, the Starship is going to be interesting. And next year, hopefully, Artemis 2, with astronauts going up and circling the moon and coming back. Artemis 3 is when they supposedly are going to land on the lunar surface. So there's some really interesting things coming up in the next few years with SpaceX, NASA, and the space program. I don't care what I'm doing, but Artemis 2, I have to see that launch, and Artemis 3, definitely, I don't care what is going on, there's no way I'm missing that, just no way. If I can help it, there's no way I'm gonna miss that. I think the whole world will be watching that.
preparation for liftoff. There you have a great view of the Strongback actually pulling away from the vehicle. This initial retraction is just a slight movement. Ahead of liftoff, we'll see full retraction so that Falcon Heavy can clear the launch pad. Now, the next major milestone we're tracking is liquid oxygen loading completion. We're expecting that here in just about a minute.
Amazing how quick this launch is coming. It's like 11:04. It's like approaching so fast.
Just about 25 seconds left of liquid oxygen loading. Really gorgeous views of Falcon Heavy on the launch pad tonight. The next major milestone we're tracking is going to be the announcement that Falcon Heavy is in startup mode, which means that the internal flight computers have taken over the final count in the lead up to liftoff. About T-1 minute is when we expect to hear that call out, and that's also when stages 1 and 2 will begin to pressurize for launch.
Go, Heavy, go.
Launch abort has started.
As you may have just heard over the nets, we just heard an abort called out from our launch director. We're waiting for other updates from Mission Control, so stay tuned and we'll come back with an update as soon as we can.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh, here we go. Abort. 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Well, that's not over yet. Let's see what the issue is. I don't know what their launch window is, how much time they have. But usually, in a situation like this, they usually postpone. It's not often that they are able to resolve the issue and the launch happens. It's more like, okay, we're done. They're not venting the fuel out yet, so that sucker is ready to go. And they cut the audio feed. It got really silent. I don't know if anybody noticed that. It got ultra quiet. Because they actually killed the audio feed. It's not even on like mute. It's completely cut off. You'll hear it when it comes back. I was looking forward to this too. Oh. Just came back. It's subtle, but it's there. Hear it? So they're gonna get ready to make an announcement. Maybe.
All parties on countdown 1, please be advised that we have scrub for the night on Falcon Heavy.
Scrub for the night. Scrub for the night. It's over. We have scrub for the night. Done. Not happening tonight. Yep, scrub.
If you've been following along, you know we had an abort during the countdown tonight at T-minus 1 minute and 5 seconds. Prior to that, the countdown was proceeding nominally. And keep in mind that the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. There are 1,000 ways that a launch can go wrong and only one that it can go right. So given that, we are overly cautious on the ground, and if the team or the vehicle sees anything that just looks even slightly off, they'll stop the countdown. Again, the vehicle and payload are in good health, but this will end our launch attempt for today. Our next launch opportunity is tomorrow around the same time, so keep an eye on our social media channels for updates.
Good night, SpaceX. Now, usually, when it's an issue like that, it takes more than 1 day to resolve it. So I'm not expecting a launch tomorrow at around the same time. Unless it's a simple fix. But I don't count on that at all. Yeah, it was worth the try. I mean, it ain't worth the try for me. It's worth the try for them. It's not me. Elon and SpaceX and all the people that are part of the program. I mean, everyone. Can you imagine how many people are involved to make that happen? Thousands, probably. If at least hundreds. There's a lot that goes into that. And hello to Luna. I know, Daryl, I know. But it's all good. I'll take today's overall successes. I was hoping that this was going to end the day on such a high note. Because it's been a hell of a day. A hell of a day. I'm sure it's all over the... It's got to be all over the news, and I would think... I mean, if I open this up, and I hardly ever do, What is this about? I'm glad you guys don't see that. Okay. Nothing important. I'm surprised that there isn't more. There was a lot earlier. I can't do a sky watch because it's cloudy out. I know Fox News did something. Let's go to videos. Oh my God. We have to do past day. I'm looking at the sources. See, I can't believe they don't have more information here. For real. It's terrible. I'm gonna try. I'm just looking for something. There's one at least from News Nation. Oh, and he was on figures. Doesn't that fucking figure? All right, let's start from here.
Let's bring in two members of Congress who were there today and helped make this happen. Representatives Tim Burchett of Tennessee and Anna Paulina Luna of Florida. It's good to have you both. Thank you for joining me.
I love Luna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Representative Luna, what did you like? What do you need more of after today?
You know, the one thing that was incredibly frustrating is leading up to this hearing, which, by the way, I want to remind people, this was coordinated weeks in advance, and there's a lot of sweat equity that went into it by myself, Representative Burchett, Gates, and Moskowitz. But, you know, we were denied access to a SCIF so that we could receive some of that information. Those questions that Grush was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that. My favorite thing, though, was the fact that you had multiple people, witnesses, credible backgrounds, admitting and disclosing not only sightings, but also to, as former members of the military, really what our service members are facing and the aspect of national security that I think in previous discussions in regards to UAP, a lot of taboos have been circulating. And so I think that this is just the start of one of many hearings. I know that Representative Burchett is going to be taking lead on conducting some of those field hearings. And honestly, the first step in the right direction is going to be getting that information in a SCIF and seeing what we can release to the American people.
Congressman from Tennessee, am I really going to have to show up in your backyard? I reached out yesterday out of respect because I didn't like to hear that they were messing with your ability to chair this. Why are you getting friction, and what do you think happens next?
Well, when you're over the target, Chris, that's when they fire at you the most. And I appreciated what you said about Senator McConnell. That showed incredible class and good taste, so thank you. I think that's missing in our political discourse today. But you know, we've been through this. We've worked, Representative Luna, myself, and others, been working on this for months, actually. And, you know, you rock a few boats. Maybe we misunderstood. I don't know. But I didn't want the attention to be about the chairmanship. I wanted it to be about what we're talking about, and transparency is something that we really have a problem with in government today, and it was a bipartisan effort. And some of the questions were excellent. Representative Luna, of course, stole the show with most of her questions. I just kind of batted cleanup, but it was a great day for the American public. I think that the UFO community and the people that just question what's going on in government had plenty of answers today. You know, we asked questions about, do we think people lost their lives because of this knowledge? And the answer was in the affirmative. You know, we were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up by both parties, by leadership, by the so-called intelligence community, as I like to say, the war pigs over at, or the war pimps, excuse me, over at the Pentagon. And, you know, it's just a continuation of that fact. And we'll vote to add them, I'm sure, more billions of dollars unchecked, and they will continue thumbing their nose at the American public. Representative Luna, myself, and Representative Gates were denied access down at Eglin Air Force Base. We were told we were going to get this, and we were turned away. I mean, this is your military telling your elected officials what to do. These are bureaucrats that literally have driven a four-legged mahogany around, and they're telling us what to do. You talked about it last night in some of your commentary, and it's, again, this is very offensive to me, it's offensive to the American public, and we need some answers.
So, look, the good news is it seemed to me that Congress did its homework or came with an agenda of actual oversight and understanding in this hearing that I don't always see. We'll just leave it at that. But, one, I don't like that I had a hard time getting Democrats to do this tonight. I don't understand. They were there today. I don't know. But I'll put that to the side also. What are the next steps? You need a small one and you need a big one. Luna, the small step is, Representative Luna, is how you get the information that Grush has that he says he can't say in an open session. What's the answer to that?
So the first step would be getting elected members together to put pressure on the intelligence community to give us a SCIF. The reasoning that they used was that supposedly Grush's clearance was out of date, but there's mechanisms and workarounds with that. And then also, too, being that he is a whistleblower, obviously he has to be legally careful about what he's saying publicly, especially during the middle of an Inspector General investigation. But nonetheless, I mean, he also named things like white-collar crimes. He said that he was in fear of his life for an incident that had occurred. So there are many things that we have to look into, but that would be the first start. You know, this report supposedly may contain images and footage, and I just want to put out there that when Representative Burchett, myself, and Representative Gates went to Eglin Air Force Base, yes, we were stonewalled. Eventually, we were able, after arguing with the base commander, to interview one pilot, and we saw an image, and I can confirm that we saw UAP. And so the fact is that it shouldn't take a clearance to see that. There's other governments around the world that really expose us to their people, so why are we not doing the same thing?
We begin with that historic UFO hearing on Capitol Hill today. As we just said, the bipartisan push for transparency, certainly decades in the making. The nation watched gripping testimony of UAPs, accusations of a government cover-up, calls for action, and demands for greater transparency on this issue. What are these unidentified objects? Where did they come from? And are we alone? Take a listen. Here are some of the key highlights from that hearing.
Finally, I'd like to thank these three brave witnesses here. They took an oath. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and dadgummit, they're doing it. And we owe them a debt of gratitude.
I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight three critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust. In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squadron 11, the Red Rippers, and I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. At first, we assumed they were radar errors, but soon we began to correlate the radar tracks with multiple onboard sensors, including infrared systems, eventually through visual ID. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs. The majority of witnesses are commercial pilots at major airlines. Often, they are veterans with decades of flying experience.
I just got to chime in. So if it's a spherical object with a gray or a black cube in it, it makes me wonder, is the spherical part of it something to protect it from fire because they know that we're probably going to shoot at it? Is that some kind of like a force field? I'm just saying, like, why else would the spherical area be around the cube inside of it to protect it? I don't think it has anything to do with propulsion. So what other use does it have? To protect it from atmosphere, from speeds, from us? You know what I mean? It's like, it sounds bizarre, but it makes kind of sense. That's like the Tic Tac. The Tic Tac could just be shielding something that's inside of it. And that's the energy that's put around it. That's why it looks, it doesn't have any seams. It looks seamless. It would make sense. But what's inside of it is the question. It does kind of weigh out of, but I think, I like he said in the first clip, and this is what Brichette said, people in the UFO community, people that have been involved with this for a long time, you know, not the ordinary public, not people that really don't follow this intensely like some of us do, but this is one hell of a day in history because it's all over the news. UFOs. Even the person on the first clip, UFOs. I mean, it's almost like it's preparing the public for disclosure. It's getting MSN mainstream media attention. I mean, I never really thought in my lifetime that I'd be seeing a serious situation like this all over the TVs. Think about it. Just think about that. What historical this moment is. To have this on mainstream media finally, and that Congress is addressing it seriously, and I know for sure they're pursuing it. Before he said there's going to be many more hearings, but I already knew about some stuff going on, so it's interesting that they're putting it out there, you know. But he said the House. This is just the beginning. Prepare for the Speedo words, Ben. Oh my God. And like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a hearing in September in the Senate. That's what I heard. Watch the calendar, I was told. So I believe when somebody tells me that, especially this person. Let's see if it pans out. So sometime in September, there may be a hearing on this in the Senate. Because the Senate wants to pass that amendment. So there's definitely going to be a floor. It depends what kind of hearing this is. And they're going to have to discuss this on the floor of the Senate as well, when it comes to legislation. So I'm going to continue what he has to say. But I thought today was very interesting.
Pilots are reporting UAP at altitudes that appear above them at 40,000 feet, potentially in low Earth orbit or in the gray zone below the Kármán line, making inexplainable maneuvers like right-hand turns and retrograde orbits or J-hooks. If everyone could see the sensor and video data I witnessed, our national conversation would change. I urge us to put aside stigma and address the security and safety issue this topic represents. If UAP are foreign drones, it is an urgent national security problem. If it is something else, it is an issue for science.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency.
The controller told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up, for those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet.
A lot of them are coming from the Catalina Islands.
We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a small, saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the tic-tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the tic-tac, or we consumed 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the tic-tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the tic-tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute. You can calculate the speed." We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to them, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video. What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the active jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar.
So interesting.
The subcommittee hearing on
That's actually the actual hearing right here. That's the actual hearing, which is the independent. So I'm going to download the fucking hearing. I'm actually going to do that right now because I want it. And it won't take that long. But I also want to see the interview.
Let's bring in two members of Congress who were there.
I want to see this interview. I want to see what he has to say.
Joining me now for more perspective on the military side of things is Sean Cahill. He's a retired U.S. Navy chief, master at arms, who witnessed the Tic Tac UFO incident back in 2004. He's also an investigative filmmaker. Thank you so much for joining me, Sean. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good evening, Nick. How are you?
I'm well. Sean, I want to talk about like more of the military side of these things, because I think one of the things that is the biggest takeaway from me, like yourself, also a veteran, is that there is a serious side of reporting things that you see, sticking to the facts, and credibility is indeed paramount.
That's absolutely true, and I think that is what has made it possible for these hearings, is that we've been lucky enough to have people of a caliber that was untarnished come forward with incredible information and have the courage to share that with us. That didn't work for a lot of regular folks over the course of the last 80 years, so it's good that we're here. It's not limited just to folks like you and I that have served, but it's been very helpful that those people have been courageous to come forward and stand in front of Congress.
That being said, Sean, it doesn't seem clear that they're always getting the support that they need. Let's listen to a soundbite and talk about it on the other side.
Right now, military witnesses to UAP have limited options for reporting UAP. But more concerning is that commercial aviation sector has not adapted to the lessons that the military has implemented. The military and Department of Defense has stated that UAP represent a critical aviation safety risk. We have not seen that same language being used in the commercial markets. They are not acknowledging this risk.
So clearly the standard chain of command that you and I would use does not seem to be in place here. What is the process by which you think they should be able to report this information so that it is received in a way that is taken seriously?
Well, we have normal channels that are already in place for normal aircraft accidents, events, celestial events, and weather-related events. So those same channels should be utilized. It'll be up to the United States government to determine whether or not a specific report may have national security value and may have to be quarantined off from the other data. But the reporting process should be easy. The infrastructure is already in place. And
you reported your own. I want to go back to when you actually talked about what you experienced. Let's take a listen.
The Tic Tac object we engaged in 2004 was far superior to anything that we had on time, have today, or are looking to develop in the next 10 years. If we in fact have programs that possess this technology, it needs to have oversight from those people that the citizens of this great country elected in office to represent what is best for the United States and best for the citizens.
Yeah, that was actually a favor talking about the Tic Tac incident that he saw. Talk to me about that and what your takeaway was from that.
It was a very interesting week. It was taken very seriously by the folks that were involved in hunting down the validity of the objects and then sending out the sorties. And of course, we've heard from the pilots. At the end of the week, I was astonished at the lack of response by the chain of command, how coolly the captain had reacted to the information, and the fact that even myself as the chief master at arms on board, which was the senior law enforcement officer, there was no post briefing, there was no discussion, at least at my level. So it was very telling. For a while, I convinced myself that it was probably one of our programs, but since 2017, when more evidence has come out, I have absolutely flipped the coin on that, and I'm sure it's not.
Sean, I have to tell you, I really appreciate you taking time to meet with us and talk with us this afternoon, but I have every reason to believe we will be discussing this again. Sean Cahill, thank you so much.
So now that you're going to see them all coming out of the woodwork to go on shows, it should be really interesting how this develops over time. Like I said, we already seen that. So these are just clips. News Nation seems to be like really on it. So I got to give them credit. This is an interesting clip too.
And when you reported your experiences with the UAP, did any of you face any repercussions with your superiors? Yes or
no? I've actually never seen anything personally, believe it or not. So.
All right. And then do you believe there's an active disinformation campaign within our government to deny existence of UAPs? Yes or no?
I don't have an answer to that.
As previously stated publicly, yes.
I think previously with like Project Blue Book, yes, but currently I don't speak for the United States government.
Okay, thank you. I have a few questions for Mr. Graves. What percentage of UAP sightings, in your belief, go unreported by our pilots?
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
So like 95% basically don't report seeing UAPs.
That's just my personal estimate.
In the incident off Virginia Beach, do you believe the Navy took the danger to your aircraft seriously after it was reported?
Absolutely.
A few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapon systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
It took over 15 years for your encounter with the Tic Tac to be declassified. Do you feel there was a good reason to prevent lawmakers from having access to this footage?
No, I just think it was ignored when it happened, and it just sat somewhere in a file. Never got reported.
In a drawer. It happens a lot up here. Shocker. Mr. Grush, a couple of questions for you too, sir, this morning. What percentage of UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated by the U.S. government, of the 5% that are reported?
I can only speak for my personal leadership over at NGA. I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage. So.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Let's meet after the hearings. I'm ready. Let's go. I've got names. This is why I think this shit's gonna blow up. Contractors, corporations, companies with no oversight. The money's coming from somewhere. Where's the money coming from? Oh boy, this is gonna get interesting. Because they're not gonna give up. They are not giving up, and I can tell you that I've been hinting it to all of you for so long. I just couldn't say anything. This is a bipartisan issue. This is just the beginning. They're going to go after them. And they're going to try to get these people coming forward in a hearing. The people that provided the information to Grush. Now, I think just based on what he said, I have cooperative and hostile. So good luck with the hostiles. But talk to the cooperatives, and maybe you have a shot at talking to the hostiles. I don't know. there are people involved. Some are willing to cooperate. And yes, we have to bring these contractors and put them on the spot, but you really need to provide some kind of evidence for that. It can't simply be an accusation or a theory. You have to have something to back it up. Some documentation, some evidence, some proof that these corporations were involved. But who was the one that was in charge of allocating this money? Who in the government was doing that? Somebody had to be handing out the checks. Somebody had to be dispersing this money from some other source and redirecting the funds to the black programs and projects. So that's fraud. That's a lot of shit involved. That's why, and I've been saying it, criminal charges could be possible here. It's not just the evidentiary part of the classified information, videos, images, documents relating to the UAPs. It's also the human factor, with the billions and billions of dollars being allocated to these black programs with no oversight. You don't think that pisses off Congress, men and women? Like, who do you think you are getting billions and billions of dollars that, everything has to pass through Congress for funding of the government? You never came to me for funding. Who are you? Where did you get your money from? Because we didn't assign it to. But obviously they're getting it from a department, like the Department of Energy or the Department of Defense. Somebody is siphoning off this money to these black projects, programs. And I'm guessing it's the Department of Energy because of their rules within the agency. Especially with the SAP, the Special Access Programs and the classification, that they can deny people from seeing it if they deem it's inaccessible. They have their own set of rules in the Department of Energy. The Atomic Act of 1954, I think it was. So they play by their own rules. And if you're not part of the team, you ain't knowing shit. But Congress is onto this now. And I don't know how they're going to go about to try to get this information. There are people that have clearance to get into that skiff. Well, get in there. Demand the access to the information. But you could demand all you want. If they don't cooperate, where does this go? How do they pursue this? How can they get the stuff that's in the skiff and go through it and say, okay, but first they have to pass legislation to get the clearance to have access to everything, because that's on that paperwork, on the amendment. So when this kind of stuff comes in, they cannot be denied. We want everything. So you got to put the pieces together. Some people, they don't understand how this is all part of a big puzzle, and you have to add it up, put it together, and that's why, and I'll show it for the 17th time, that's why this is important. In the Senate. So be mindful. The Senate is going to get into the action now too. It's the Senate's turn next, by the way. It's the Senate's turn next. And that's going to be interesting. But it's as bipartisan as it gets. And I think it's going to be freaking amazingly interesting. Because the House is one thing. The House is members of a district with their constituents, but there's a lot of people in the House, depending on how many you get per state. But they represent little districts, or maybe larger districts, depending on the lines in each state. But the Senate is a different ball game. 50, I don't know what the margin is, minority right now, but they're all together, so that doesn't really matter. This is a bipartisan thing. So 100 senators. We got to see where this goes, and I think it's going. So the Senate is going to raise the bar. So keep an eye out in September for a hearing in the Senate. From what I've been told. The Freak, what's up? And Q, they definitely need to, first of all, they should release that radar from the Tic Tac. That's, Fravor said is lost. He doesn't even know where it is. It's like it was never put out there. And they should, they need to be transparent as much as they can. They really, really need to. Because the public is tired of the bullshit. Of another day, no evidence, nothing new here. Oh, but there was a lot new here today. It's more of a symbolism. It's historical. And it shows that Congress is serious. Finally. The Freak. No, I'm the program director for a paranormal network. Now, what I said earlier in the House, if you didn't see it, when AOC is asking questions and the witness brings up a red square the size of a football field, her eyes lit up like, what? Like she couldn't believe it. And the one thing you'll never ever see, again, probably unless they have more hearings with the same individuals, is a Republican following up on AOC's questions. I'd like to follow up on AOC of the questions she asked earlier, and you'll never, ever, ever see that. A Republican following up on an AOC question? Wow, that's historic in itself. Because you'll never see that again. Ma, close the door, please. Oh, you watch a lot of C-SPAN. Now, I don't, I'm so busy with work, I don't have time to watch TV of any kind. But this is the one that, since, I've been involved with this for years, this is the one that I had to watch. This was a must. Because it's in my field of interest. And it's about time that they did it. But this is very important. Because this is the amendment. This is the amendment of the law that they're going to put into place, hopefully, if it passes. Which I think it will. And it's extensive. But look at the names. I've been saying this. It's Schumer, who actually is the one that made this proposal. By Schumer for himself. Mr. Rounds, Republican. Rubio, Republican. Gillibrand, who is a Democrat, but she and Rubio have been busy with this since the beginning. So it's kind of been bipartisan since the very beginning, with these two working together a lot, trying to get things moving forward. But that's in the Senate. So I'm guessing before they made this amendment, they probably spoke to their fellow congressmen and women and said, listen, because they're all in on it. this is going to pass. Now, I think it's going to pass in the House too because it's bipartisan there as well. The evidence is today's hearing. It has to pass in both. And then it goes to the president for the signature to put it in. Now, as somebody mentioned in chat earlier, John, the judicial will be involved, yeah, because the agencies that's going to be called out, like, they're going to fight this. They're going to say, well, this is unconstitutional. Bullshit. Because a lot of the language is like, we want all of it. We want it all. And we're going to waive classification. I mean, this is all federal records. That's very broad. All federal record. Doesn't matter what the source is. If it's federal government related, we want it. And that's, you could see it said a few times, all federal government records. Legislation is necessary to create an enforceable, independent, and accountable process for the public disclosure of such records. So they want an independent body to look over this and screen it to what could be deemed releasable to the public. So to create an enforceable, so it's not like just on paper, a paper puppet, bullshit. Independent and accountable process for the public disclosure of such records. And then to put that all document, everything has to go through the declassification process for declassification review, because they're not getting a lot of the classified top secret stuff that's being worked on in these black programs. Yeah, I wasn't talking about AO. That's why I thought it was funny, because of the Republican Democrat, not I wouldn't even call it friction, just down straight up hate for each other. And AOC is like the target of the right, but yet in this kind of scenario, she's working, the Republican is actually following up on her question, which I found miraculous, that you'll never see that again. I'm not getting into her politics, because I'm glad I'm in upstate New York and not in the city. I'll say that. But you'll never see that. That's why I was making the joke. A Republican following up on an AOC question? You'll never see that again. Never! It's kind of odd to see them in the same room without fighting. Anyway, so it's not necessarily a new agency to freak. It's not. What they're trying to say is Congress wants to be able to look at these documents no matter what the source is, and they need to go through the declassification review process. Because there's a lot of shit that's under the Department of Energy that they won't share with Congress, because they don't have to, because it's in their rules and regulations. The Department of Energy is its own mechanism. They do things their way. It's like almost a separate body, a separate entity. They don't have to cooperate. They don't have to. It's crazy. And it's because of the Nuclear Act. I was reading it earlier. I showed it on the screen. 1954. The Atomic Act. I think it was 1954. That's what started it. But they're not playing. Oh, there it is. The Atomic Energy Act of 1954. Oh my God, I was just talking about it. There it is. Due in part to the exceptions under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. So, because of that, they get exceptions. They don't get oversight from Congress. They don't have to disclose if they don't want to. If they consider it ultra secret, they don't even have to tell you with these special access programs, because it's on a need to know basis, and if you don't need to know, you don't know. That's under their stipulations. So that's like a fucking government within a government. They go by their own rules. And you don't think Congress is pissed at this? That they can't get access to files because somebody's denying them access? Whoa. So this is what this is about. It's also about money. Always is. But that's what this is about. So this is proper oversight. They are not playing. And it's going, this is going to get, I'm telling you, it's going to get serious. Now, does it go anywhere? There's going to be a lot of pushback by some real big-time money players. Now, you want to talk about corporate control? Military industrial complex, the money with contractors, subcontractors. Do you know that they are definitely gonna stir this shit up now? This is gonna be a battle of the government fighting with other branches of the government. Like it hasn't already started. It's already been going on. But this could get downright crazy. And Chris Mellon said it the other night. It's almost like the Reagan administration investigating Iran-Contra. An investigation by the government involving the government. Well, this is going to be the clash of branches, because the legislative and executive branches are going to unite against the special alphabets agencies, the Pentagon, Department of Defense, Department of Energy. They're going up against some big players with big money involved. And if there's any dirty stuff going on, they know there's possibility of criminal charges coming. Because it's like money laundering. It's like fraud. They're stealing. Where is the money coming from? Is it coming from the Department of Defense? Is the Department of Energy funding going to these programs? Where's the money coming from? Let's see the ledger. Show us the money trail. So this has, like I said earlier, this has a big, definite national security issue. That will always have precedent over the release of classified material to declassify it. What exactly will they declassify? Who's going to approve that one? Can you imagine the arguments that are going to go on? Well, can you just imagine the alphabet agencies, the military? You can't release that. Oh, no, but we want to. Oh, no, you can't. That's national security. Who says that's national security? What on that photo has any indication that it's national security related? Oh, but there's ways of observing this. You know, they're going to come out with so many angles. This would give away the means of how we capture this kind of stuff, because they'll use any possible excuse not to release what is on that table. Can you imagine the infighting that's going to happen? Because Congress wants that. After this going this far, they say they're going to be transparent and they're going to expose everything. Now they'll look like total idiots if this just dies and goes away, because they put themselves out there with this one. I know. And the freak, you know, and I don't condone it. I'm not saying, I was thinking about this earlier. I'm just saying, this is all, I'm being highly I don't even know how I want to say this. This is a very hypothetical scenario. But could you imagine if someone that really knows a lot of the stuff that's going on, and I mean is willing to put their life on the line to be a true whistleblower, and like a Julian Assange situation with a dump, or even just dropping it off at the media, but you can't really trust that either. But somewhere where it's going to get out, eventually they're going to know who's the person that released it. But they're going to have to be willing to give up pretty much their life, because they're going to go to prison or worse. But I was thinking about that. If one individual were to do that, like I said, I'm not condoning it. All I'm saying is it happens, you know. Look at Snowden. I'm just saying. Can you imagine if something like that happened? I really truly believe it's going to get ugly. I really do. I don't see this going over smoothly. No way. And it's going to take time. It's going to take... This is not a monthly thing. It's going to take a few years. It may not. It depends how fast Congress moves on it. I just, like I said, sitting back, it's like watching a movie. Now, I don't watch mainstream media. I don't have time to do it anyway. I can't imagine what it was like for people sitting at home, putting on News Nation and seeing UFO hearing, whistleblower, historic. People must have been saying, like, what the fuck is going on? What did I miss? What happened? Are we being invaded by aliens? And that's another thing, Julian. The global effect. The global reach with the Department of Energy. That's an excellent point you just made. To Freak, you're making excellent points. You should come back more often. Usually I don't talk this kind of stuff. I skywatch and not too much gaming lately. Just hang out. Maybe I play the drums, put some music on, but not on YouTube. Because I'm on Rumble, Trovo, Twitch. Rumble, it's Bill NY Skywatcher on Rumble. We're on Rumble now. Bill NY Skywatcher. On Twitch, same thing. Trovo, it's the Kraken's Den. Just so you know. But, and there's going to be a hearing in the Senate in September. There's some exciting stuff going on. But again, I never thought, really, in my lifetime. Because in the past, when they would talk about UFOs on TV, they would say it like laughing, making a mockery out of it, like, ha ha ha, you know, they said it's UFOs, green men coming. You know. The tone has completely changed now. They're taking this shit seriously. Now, one must wonder, I'm just putting it out there, playing devil's advocate, one must wonder, is this all planned? The media is controlled, isn't it? Isn't the media controlled by government? So are they purposely putting this out there and putting it all over the media? And why would they do that now? Is there something coming? Are they preparing the public? And a lot of people will cry false flag. That's what's coming. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, and they're gonna spin this in their own opinion, in their own view. And that's going on for sure out there right now. This is all part of a globalist agenda. The false flag is coming. Alien invasion. I'm just saying. That's definitely going on in the field right now. There's no doubt that some are saying that. It's a psyop. It's all part of the agenda. Now, I could just see what I just said without hearing earlier that I'm playing devil's advocate. That I don't necessarily agree with what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there are people out there that do. That could be taken out of context because we know that happens so often. Well, he said this is all part of a false flag psyop, agenda-driven globalist cabal deep state conspiracy. What do you mean? Give you a call? Everything's fine. Jade, everything's fine. Nothing's going on. Everything's fine. I'm in the middle of a stream. But, and there's other interesting news that's gonna hopefully come out in the next few days. And KGRA is working with this entity to possibly break it out to the public. Hopefully that develops. And if it does, it's damn interesting. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Because tomorrow I'll be in a meeting. And I gotta do stuff in the morning for Mom. Take her out to the doctor. Things to do, as always. And it's gonna be 100 degrees here tomorrow. Well, it's gonna feel like 100. So if I'm not busy, you know where I'll be, in that freaking pool, for sure. Jade, I was thinking about you because of your experiences with all this stuff going on. I have to ask you, Jade, when you were in Iraq or Afghanistan, where I forget where it happened with you, with the object that went overhead that blocked out all the stars, were you alone or were there other personnel that also witnessed this? I'm curious. Because there are so many people that have witnessed stuff in the military. Even a person like Jade in chat right now, who is high speed, low drag, and YouTube, or on YouTube. He's had actually 2 experiences, which I don't talk about unless he talks about it. Not the other one. That's for him to speak about it when he's comfortable with talking about it. But he told me that story that they were in the desert getting ready to, I think it was Iraq, to move in on Iraqi troops. It was nighttime, obviously the stars, and it made no sound, and it blocked out the stars, and it was big. And I've been hearing this from other people, especially during the Middle East missions. I've been hearing this from, actually, Jade is not the only person I've heard this from now. There are others that said they've seen things going on at that time. Now, maybe one day not tonight because I'm pretty tired, but if Jade agrees, maybe one day I'll get him to tell his story here on a stream and let him speak for himself. So I'm not going to put words. I'm not going to do that because I may misrepresent or misquote or take it out of context, kind of a deal, out of respect to him. But he has an interesting tale to tell. He actually has a few. Going in slow motion. Is YouTube like really messing around like that? Go to Rumble. Why the hell are you watching this on YouTube? You should be watching on Rumble. Just saying. Bill, your YouTube sucks. They're going after me, I guess. I should be fine on Rumble, no? Or Trovo? I'm not watching the streams. It does look like slow motion. Oh shit. You know, I may be talking about stuff. I think my stream ended on Trovo. Maybe I'm saying too much. It's okay there, Bob? I'm not getting my Trovo. Okay, it's Trovo's not working. Oh, there it goes, I think. I'm having problems with Trovo. This isn't live. What the hell is that? Oh, am I on Trovo? X-Lady, you're there. Fantasy, you're there. Can you see it on Trovo? Because I can't find it. Wow, I can't get it to work on my end. I'm trying again to reload. It's just spinning. That I know, Bob. Okay, Trovo's working now. Let me look at YouTube. YouTube looks fine on my end. Yes, Mom.
I don't know if you can see that good to put this on.
Hell no, I cannot see that good to put that on. I don't, come, what is it? Everything's working on my end. Julian's having problems. Everybody's having problems on YouTube. Go to Rumble. What's wrong with Rumble? Rumble's fine. What am I trying to do here now?
Oh, toma, toma. Pon esto en 10. Because I don't know. I can't see that good there.
Oh my God, and you expect me to see? There, wait, there. Here.
What's that?
Oh, okay, you're not a fan of the chat on Rumble. They're going to make a lot more improvements by the end of the quarter. You cannot find me on Rumble? Are you serious? How's that possible? I'll send you the link now in YouTube chat. There's the Rumble link. Alright, X-Lady says it's fine in Trovo. I was having some issues here. Now you're gonna all make me get paranoid. Oh, that's too funny. So, damn, I forgot I gotta do that. Okay, you got it? Hopefully it works for you. So as I showed earlier, well, let me set it up first because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome.
All right, it's not what I want to show. A little sneak peek. A little sneak peek of the show for Sheena Metal, which is going to air on KGRADB.com, Rumble, website, Facebook. Let me get my camera off. Little sneak peek for our Friday show. Little tease.
We're terrified of. And you know what, sweetie, we're completely out of time. I hate this. Please come and do this with me again. I love when we share time together.
Sheena, you're the absolute very best, and it's really cool to come back to KGRA and hang out.
I'm so glad you're here.
We actually have 10 more minutes because we started a little bit, so you guys can go on for 10 more minutes. But
I was looking at the live clock.
Ignore
Says
that.
50.
Ignore that. I just want to ask Jimmy something because first of all, you are going to be vitally important post-disclosure. You know why? Because people are going to have to deal with the social, financial, political, religious, so many different aspects from the fallout. And a person that like you who've been in contact with so many people for so many years covering this, they're going to look to you for comfort, answers, because you know a lot what was going on. The people that are involved in the field now, people that mocked them and talked stuff about them and thought they were crazy, well, these are the people that were on the end the whole time and knew something was amiss. So you're going to have a major role when that happens. And what I wanted to ask you, because Grush referred to a lot of people that were in contact with him getting information. Do you think that those people are going to, because they had the list of names, do you think those people are going to come forward in a future hearing?
I'm going to say this. The short answer is yes, but let me tell you why. I live in Palmdale, and 1 mile from my house, mile and a half, I don't want to exaggerate, but 1.5 miles from my house is Skunk Works.
That's all you're going to get, because that show will be on Friday. I know it's a sucky tease. I know, Kathy, don't say it. But you got to watch the show with Jimmy Church, with Sheena Metal. So that's like a little tease. I know it's a tease, but it is what it is. So we kind of touched on the UAP hearing. I hate to do that, but it was interesting, Jimmy's take on it. Because like I said, he's been involved with this for so long. And he's talked to so many people. Elizondo, Mellon, he's talked to like everybody that's been involved with this over the years. No matter what you think about certain people. But Jimmy has spoken to probably most, if not all, of the people involved. So that's why I wanted to get his take on it. So it was interesting. It's an interesting show. It airs 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday on KGRADB.com or KGRA Facebook or KGRA on Rumble. So that should be an interesting little... I already know what it is, but I thought it was interesting to hear Jimmy's take. Now, I don't know if that link worked for you, but I think at this point, yes. Yes, Julian. Yes. Anyway, I want to see if there's something of interest because I am kind of tired, even though it's been a hell of a day, talking about this stuff all day long and the phone calls that have been going on all day long. It's kind of... overwhelming at some points. I just gotta check. See if I've got it. Oh my god. That's just too funny what I just seen on YouTube. But we're not gonna go there. The Chris Mellon interview was good too. I'm looking for a specific thing. Now I would have done a Skywatch, but it's cloudy here. I'm looking for a specific stream. There it is. Let's see what's going on. That does not look good. So that's a no go. Let's go back. I may have to settle for this for now. Because I think it's time for me to relax. It's already almost 12:30. Sit back, put a little music on, and chill out for the rest of the night, because it's not going to be a late one. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're about to say goodnight. Because I want to hear a little music before the night ends. Good night, Julian. Get to bed. For Christ's sake. Get to bed. Cheers. So anyone that's watching on YouTube, we're going over to Rumble. Should be good morning for you, Julian. And cheers, and I'll see you soon. Have a great morning. Great day. Happy Friday. Happy Thursday, I mean. Oh my God, I'm losing track of time. Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday, right? So goodbye on YouTube. We're on Bill NY Skywatcher on Rumble and on Twitch and on Trovo. It's the Kraken's Den, and that's where we're gonna be. So I'm gonna now end the stream on YouTube, which will be approximately self-destructing in about 30 seconds. And we're close. Good night, YouTube. Be well, be blessed, be safe, those on YouTube.